Um, Basically what I'm gonna do is like show y'all how I would make it at home, but I have prepared chili because it's kind of like a low and slow vibe, so I'm not gonna make y'all stay here for an hour and a half and roast vegetables, but I'll just do a little demo for y'all of how I made it at home, and then we can serve the chili and go from there. So I have the already cut up vegetables just because it was easier to do it that way while I was preparing it. I put them all together in this kind of mixture just so that it gets evenly cooked. And what you would do is turn on your stove top. Okay, there we go. Turn on your stove top to like medium high heat and put some olive oil on the bottom. I don't have any olive oil because this is like a non-stick pan situation. But even so, you could just add olive oil to it for more flavor, and I probably should have brought that, but there was a lot of moving parts this morning. So what you'll add to that is onion, carrots, bell pepper, and I added celery because it's like a fall vegetable. So you can also change it up to make it seasonal, like if you're making this in the spring, add some stuff that's growing seasonally. It's very versatile in that way. So you'll add this to the pot and you'll saute that for, it says 7 to 9 minutes, but when I was making it at home, because I had such large amounts of the chopped up vegetables, I realized that I probably should have done it for closer to like 15 to 20, just because they weren't evenly cooked. That's just because there was so much of it in the pot. So if you're making this for like a big group of people, a dinner party, then you probably want to do it closer to 15 to 20. Just until the vegetables soften and the onions should become like an opaque color and obviously not like this. And then you'll want to add chopped up jalapeno, garlic, and you want to do that after the vegetables have softened because those cook a lot faster than the carrots, peppers, onions, celery, etc. And you want to just do that for about like a minute or so until you can smell the aromas of it. Also be careful when chopping the jalapenos because my hands were burning for like 12 hours after. So just be careful and make sure you wash them like directly after because I was like soaking my thumb in milk and it was a whole thing. Yeah, so you'll do that, and depending on how spicy you want it, you can leave the seeds in or take them out. For this recipe, I took them out because I didn't know like how spicy people wanted it. You can also do half the amount, whatever you prefer, it's up to you. So yeah, after the vegetables are sauteed like that, you would add the tomato paste to it. And the ratio for how much tomato paste you're going to use is on the ingredients list. But basically what you want to do is coat the vegetables in it completely before you add all the other like liquids and beans and protein so that it doesn't, so that it like sticks to the vegetables and it doesn't just become a part of the broth. I will explain to y'all some of the things that I did to make this recipe a bit healthier while these vegetables saute. The first thing I did was beans opposed to ground meat, and if I were making it for myself I probably would do a ground meat just because I like the extra protein, but I wanted to do vegetarian just so that everyone was able to eat it. And also beans are a really great source of fiber, protein, iron, folate, magnesium, and potassium. They also help with weight management and they're good for your cardiovascular health as well as immune function and blood sugar control. So this is a great option to swap out for any other like denser protein like ground chicken, ground turkey, ground beef, but if you wanted to add that to your chili, that's also awesome. We've done that before, it's great. And something else that you can do with beans are like, they're really great for a lot of different soups, as well as homemade hummus, which is really good. You can like ground chickpeas and do olive oil, and that's yummy. And you can also use it in like bowls and burritos, like a homemade Chipotle situation. reservation, which I've done before, and also bean dip, which is really good. So yeah, and then I also chose low sodium vegetable broth opposed to like a chicken or beef broth, just because that cuts back on the high levels of sodium that could be in a traditional chili. And then something else I did with the beans was I washed them before I added them into the pot, because if you rinse them, it gets rid of like the excess sodium that comes in the can. Because if you read the back of a bean can, it's like pretty high in sodium, but rinsing them will actually take away like a lot of that, and then you can obviously add your own flavor, which we're gonna do, to the chili to make it like, it's still gonna be salty, it's still gonna be good, but it won't have the additional sodium that comes in like traditional bean cans. Okay.
Do you preference as doctor dry beans versus green beans?
So I think dried beans are a great option if you have like a lot of time and you want to have something that's like less processed, I would say. But canned beans are really convenient, and I think that if you're in the store and you want to make something like quicker, and this recipe already is kind of a bit more tedious than some of the other ones I've done, canned beans are a great option, and rinsing them really does like decrease the amount of sodium, and I think that you can obviously do dry beans. It's just like another added step that's gonna take longer. So it's really like personal preference, but yeah, washing them definitely does make a difference. Something that y'all should do that I didn't do that well is finely chop the vegetables, because I kind of roughly chopped them. So the current recipe that I have on the printout says to do it for 30 minutes after you add the liquid, but I actually did it like slow and low for like an hour and a half. And if y'all have a crock pot, that's also something that would be good for this recipe, because you can leave it on warm and or low, and it will like slowly cook throughout the day if you want to like make it during lunchtime and then come back to it for dinner. So there's different options of how to cook it, but yeah. Then what you're gonna do is turn it to like 2 or 3, so like medium low, and add the tomato paste. After that, you're gonna mix all of that in and make sure that the vegetables are coated fully. And you're going to add the canned tomatoes. I got fire roasted. If you like a thicker chili with the kind of like lumps of tomato, that sounds unappetizing, but it's good. You can get like not finely chopped, like partially chopped tomatoes, or you can even get whole tomatoes and kind of mush it. So you'll add, after the tomato paste, obviously, you'll add the canned tomatoes with the vegetable broth as well. And then you'll also add your bean mixture. So for this chili, I used kidney beans, pinto beans, and black beans. But if you wanted to do like butter beans or really any type of bean, if you don't like a certain bean that's in here, you can swap that out. It's really up to you. But you'll add those as well. And then you will also add your seasonings, and this is also personal preference. The recipe calls for chili powder, ground cumin, dried oregano, kosher salt, and black pepper. But depending on like what type of seasonings you prefer, if you guys taste this and you don't like something in it, you can totally leave that out. It's really just up to the user, but I honestly eyeball it. And so as the recipe says, 30 minutes on the stovetop, and that would be after you bring it to a boil. So you keep it on like medium-high heat until it starts to bubble, and not just like one bubble. You want it to really like have the whole situation boiling. And after that, you would cover it and turn it on low for 30 minutes to like an hour and a half. And I think that if you saute the vegetables for for longer in the beginning, you would be able to like keep it low and slow for less long of a time if you wanted to make this recipe go by faster. So you could saute the vegetables for like 20 minutes and then just do 30-minute boil situation and it would be good. And then you will add, the last step will be adding cilantro if you guys like that. I added it to this. I know some people have like the soap gene where that's not something that they like. So I hope y'all don't have that. But yeah, so now we can get into serving it. I brought it this. And then I also brought sour cream, cilantro, and cheddar cheese to top with. A great substitute for this, just for more protein, would be topping it with Greek yogurt. Some people like would have preferred that, so I just bought sour cream because it's like traditionally what goes on top of chili. But if I were to do this at home, I'd probably top it with Greek yogurt just to have a little bit extra protein. So yeah, I can serve these for y'all. Do you have any questions before I? Yeah. Honestly, just like trying it throughout, and like if you want to bet on it being 30 minutes, I would say definitely saute the vegetables for longer until like they're translucent. And you can also just try like a carrot or a celery before you put in the tomato paste to make sure that it's like that like more well done texture. And then you can guarantee that 30 minutes will be done. But if you want to like test it out too and have time to try it out, you can kind of. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll just hand you all the bowls, and if you guys want to come up and add like shredded cheddar, cilantro, or sour cream to the top.